Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit. I'm also here to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in chat. Please put those emotes in the chat. Put those emotes in because to let me know that you're a subscriber and you're here, but also because you want to celebrate the renewal subscription of H-Bomb and Friends. Harold, thank you very much, Harold. Subscribe for 80 months. Saying 80 months, that's a lot. And you're right, Harold, that is a lot of months. Lashbrook is here, hello, Lashbrook. Aristofan is here, hello, Aristofan. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can just say hi. You can use other people's emotes or global emotes or whatever. And if you want to be a lurker, you can also lurk. Also, we want to do a round of applause for Ghost Valve, also resubbing, being a subscriber for 38 months, saying almost a year. Yeah, 38 months, almost a year. I see what you're doing there, Ghost Valve. Thank you so much, Ghost Valve, for renewing your subscription. Appreciate that very much. Thanks everybody for for being here tonight. Appreciate you all. Welcome, Ghost Valve and Harold and Lashbrook and Aristofan. It's a Saturday night, and I did a lot of things today. I wanted to go for a walk because I haven't really left the house much, and it's just so hot that I didn't want to, because yesterday I left the house to go to the dump to drop off leaves and trash, and that was leaving the house, but not for long. So I was like, I'm gonna go for a nice long walk, and then I went to the edge of my driveway to go to the mailbox to see if there's mail, and then I was like, there is mail. I'm going to bring this in the house, and then I'm going to stay in the garage, and I'm going to ride my exercise bike, and I'm not going to leave the garage. And it was hot in that garage. We are getting started. We're going to go to the overhead camera right now with the G-Fighter and the RX-78-2 from the Gundam unit G-Armour. The Gundam unit G-Armour is what we are building tonight. This is a kit from 2004. It is a 2001 RX-78-2 and a 2004 G-Fighter combined together in a new kit where you get both of them. You can mix and match them and do a bunch of nonsense and silliness. We are starting by building the part of the G-Fighter. So we're going to get some tank treads and shenanigans together here. So we're going to get some wheels put together, and we'll get that started now. Start with I4. This is I. Wait, this is also I. Great. This is I4. I was like, I is just tank treads. No, there are two I's, and this is the part there that we need. We need these parts. So yeah, we're gonna start with the tank treads on this now. Not this model kit, because this was bought off my Amazon wish list, which fucking rules. As part of my birthday. Thank you, John, for this purchase. Appreciate you, John. So this was purchased off my Amazon wishlist. I got another kit that came in the mail, but that's a kit I bought, and I was expecting to arrive. Okay, so we need I7 and I8 together, which are over here. So a kit arrived in the mail. I'm excited about it. It is another one from the Gundam Seed movie. Is another of the Black Knight squad. So I look forward to putting that together. So I went in the mailbox and knew that was coming. So I went and grabbed it. Now I'm gonna go on a bit, not really a tangent, but a bit on a little journey that some of y'all will recognize. But when you buy stuff on Amazon, it used to be that if you bought a box from Amazon, it would come, the item you ordered, if it was like a model kit where it is a bunch of sprues in a box, they would put that box into a larger box that said Amazon Prime on it, and had, the air packets popped in there and to cushion it, and it would arrive in your mail, and you just have a lot of boxes. At a certain point, Amazon stopped doing that if you just bought one item. they would put them in like a mailer. Sometimes those mailers are made out of recyclable cardboard material, and also sometimes they are plastic mailers. But they would put them in bags, basically. The idea being, well, it's already a box, so you can just put a box in a bag and mail it out. That way you don't have to put a box in a box. It saves seconds, right? And probably pennies. It probably saves seconds and pennies. It does mean that sometimes you end up with a box that is been dented because it does not have any kind of cushion for it. It's a fucking bummer when that happens. Today was a new one, and I can't show it to you because I worked hard to get it off, but also because I don't want to show you things with my address on it and all that. My box that arrived that I bought on Amazon with Prime shipping arrived today. Period. The box arrived today. It was not in another box, which I don't expect these days. That's only going to happen if you buy multiple things and you want to all ship together. Sure, okay. No, I'm telling you, they didn't put it in a bag or a mailer. They just stuck an address label on the actual fucking box. And because it was, hadn't been opened before, it had the cellophane, on it. So most of that was stuck to that. But yeah, I just got mailed a fucking box. And it sucks. And was it dented some? Yeah. Could it have been worse? Sure. But it was certainly dented in some manner. And the fact that it was just the fucking box really pisses me off. It's just a lack of care with the items that are being purchased off that website. And it's very frustrating. And I have had people tell me, Pat, you got to stop buying stuff from Amazon. You got to buy stuff from other places. And I do try to buy things from other stores. Because even when you add in shipping in some of those other stores, the prices aren't, you're rarely saving a lot if you are buying from Amazon model kits that, as long as you are okay with it taking a little longer to arrive. You probably can get by and it's probably going to be okay. But God damn it. Just pisses me off. And if I could shop locally, I would shop locally. There are no local stores. I have no option here in my area to go to a store and buy model kits. The hobby shop, a few years before I got here, apparently at one point used to carry model kits, but they stopped doing that before I arrived. I don't know why. They just did. Okay, so I'm having trouble getting this piece to sit in here flush. And I'm looking at it. I'm going to double check that this is I-12 and I pulled the right piece because you never know. But anyway, that was really frustrating. This is I-12. Okay. That was really frustrating that they didn't even bother to put it in a bag. Like, once they stopped putting things in boxes, did I used to have way too fucking many boxes from Amazon? Yes. I used to have way too many boxes from Amazon. And it would be a nightmare when I was in New York and just getting so many goddamn boxes. It eventually became really annoying. Yes, that's true. But I still would prefer that to it not fucking having a box at all. Because that's just really annoying. All right, let's get this together. We're still on the first step here, so we should try to get this going. All right, so we won't let that. We won't let that. This is going to go on the track here, right? Yeah, this will go on the track. So it can slide around. Yeah. It wants to move up and down. Yes. It wants to move up and down. Great. About 2 minutes before the stream started, fireworks started going off. There were no fireworks yesterday. I thought we were done in this neighborhood. I really did think, I was like, oh, okay, well, they got another system. They used up all their fireworks on Thursday. We're good. There weren't any yesterday. Nope, there's some today. So maybe somebody discovered they had some more lying around. They're not in my driveway this week, so that's nice. Or this time. So, we're benefiting from that. All right, so I think this is right, that this is just goes up and down on here. It feels like it should bend into place, but it doesn't want to. So I think this piece is all right. This slides around. That's good because it should be able to move. And then this can pop up, which it should. It's supposed to do. But this, I think, is supposed to be flush, but doesn't get flush. So I'll find out later. I don't know how I would do this. Okay, no, it does go down. Okay. I did put a little more pressure than I wanted to, but it does pop down almost all the way and then pop up. Okay. All right, we're feeling all right now. And this all goes in G, which is over here. I have built the like a lot of RX-78-2s. I don't think I've ever built a G-Fighter. I don't usually build accessories kits, like kits that are like, well, this is the attachment that goes to this thing. If you don't have one of these kits, it doesn't do anything. I don't think I've ever built one of those. Just in the time that I've built model kits. I don't believe I've ever done that. So it's kind of nice to have them both together, though. Is it just me, or are you kind of blown out? It might just be you, Lastbrook. I don't know. My light settings should be just how they are. I don't know. I'm looking at it here. Looks fine to me. So I don't know. If anybody else has a comment on that, I'm sure I could hear it. But yeah, I mean, it might just be, audio. Am I blown out audio-wise? Okay. Huh. I don't know. I thought you meant light. It's mostly when you look down. Oh, well, yeah, that's because I'm going to be closer to the mic. I have adjusted. How does that sound? Does that sound any better to you, Lashbrook? I have adjusted my microphone a bit here. And let me know if that is blown out. I don't know. I don't think I had any audio trouble today. I did record a video. Hopefully, I don't have any issues with that video. Of course, I did record a video and my mic was positioned a little differently, so that'll be different there. But yeah, let me know if this sounds any better to you or if it sounds just as bad. I don't know. But yeah, as far as I know, that's nothing on my end, my audio end changed. So I don't know. I'll do a little adjustment there. Seems good so far. Okay, well there you go. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, by blown out, I thought you meant visually, and I was like, oh, I don't know. Lighting should be pretty okay. All right, so these are, you have to make 4 of G22 into G21s. These are all G21 there, so I need 4 G22s, which are all of these. We'll do that, and then I need do that. And then we need 2 G20s into G23s. Okay, so we'll do, that goes there. Here, working on some treads here and such for this vehicle, because it's an all-terrain style vehicle, which is fun. Yeah, I recorded a video today. The next episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club will be up on a Monday. I talk about all of the isekai that are coming out this season, and there are 8 isekai out this season. That's right, 8. And I know for some of you, you're saying to yourself, God damn it, that's a lot of fucking isekai. And other people are saying, oh, only 8? Because there are usually more than 8 out in a season. I think the highest was spring or maybe winter. There was one pretty recently that was like 14 isekai. So the fact that it's only 8, and it was 7 up until like 2 days ago, because there's a short that is an isekai that AnyChart hadn't listed. And I just happened to notice that they had updated recently, because you can search by tag on any, or not on any list, not any chart, on any list, you can search by tag. And so I searched the isekai tag and the season to to cross-reference, or to like verify, like, this thing feels like an isekai. Is it one, or this one, you know? And occasionally I mess up and miss one. Death Mount, or whatever, something Death Play, Death Mount, something or other. There was that anime that I completely missed the first time because I didn't realize that it was an isekai. And I was like, oh, like none of it, no part of that description. Dead Mount Death Play, something like that. No part of that description made me think, oh yeah, that's an isekai. So anyway, I talk about all 8 and if I'm going to be watching them or not. So I do have 2 shows to talk about tonight. One that I think I'm going to be watching on a weekly basis, and the other that I'm not sure if I'm going to be covering on a weekly basis. I should specify because I just don't know if I'm going to or not. All right, so I need our first polycap is coming up, and then also some eye parts. So we'll get eye out here, and we're going to need tech tread soon. There we go. All right, so that's put that there. That snaps together. That's nice. Nice snap sound. There is some anime news because of Anime Expo is happening this weekend. So Crunchyroll was making some announcements. And I'm going to go through those, probably some of these pretty quickly. Because Crunchyroll had an industry panel at Anime Expo. So I will just kind of quickly go through some of the renewals. Blue Lock Season 2 for fans of the sports anime where people don't like each other on purpose, but also might like each other. They like each other in spite of the fact that it is an aggressive show about not liking each other, I guess. That did not seem to appeal to me, but I know some people really enjoy. That's getting a second season. Dr. Stone's Science Future, which is the next season of Dr. Stone. Yes, Harold, that is big news. There's still more anime on the horizon. Dr. Stone's Science Future is the next Dr. Stone season. I really, no spoilers, but I really want this anime to finish the story. I want them to have enough seasons to finish the story. For the one specific reason that show, it just goes places. And also it closes off in a wild way that I want anime only Dr. Stone fans to experience the end of that. I want them to get the weirdness. So I'm hopeful that they do finish the whole thing. Fire Force Season 3 finally coming. It's been a hot minute since we had Fire Force Season 2. I'm going to actually check to see, will you tell me in this write-up what else? That's coming out. Oh, wow. Wait, okay, so sorry. I didn't read this. Fire Force Season 3 will arrive April 2025 in a split-core final season, concluding with January 2026. Lashbrook can't remember if you finished Season 2. Well, you'll have time because the first half comes out in April of next year. And then the second half of that comes out January 2026. So almost a full year after that, the final part of it will conclude. And I was like, that's right, because that's got to be close to being done from what I remember. I did not connect this to this before I put it together, so let's see if I can pop this together. But yeah, so that's I was like, that's been a while. The next big manhwa, possibly the next big manhwa coming, will be Omniscient Reader. Omniscient Reader is a fairly big deal in the South Korean comic world. I'm not particularly into it. It is a webtoon. I'm not particularly into it, but I know people really like it, so that's cool. Happy for people. Oh, nice. Got some new earphones. Nice, Harold. Okay, so then let's see. This goes like this, and then these go here into the middle part. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. I guess I was a little blown out at the start, but glad that's not the case right now. Another season of the Apothecary Diaries has been announced. That is a show that I didn't enjoy up until I did enjoy it, and then I enjoyed it very much. That took a little while for me to get into that particular show. So I'm excited they're having more of that. That's coming out in 2025. And let's see, Yakuza Fiance is coming out this year in October. Let's see. And that looks like a romance show with Yakuza people, and Studio Dean is doing it, and they really disappointed me a lot this year with some of their projects. So, let's see, what else we got? We got a queer, a gay romance show set in 2020 called Anyway, I'm Falling in Love with You, which looks pretty nice. Demon Lord Retry R, which is the sequel series to Demon Lord Retry. They're putting out more Demon Lord. Demon Lord Retry is a tough story. It's a tough series to recommend because the core conceit is interesting. It is I woke up in a video game world. But the thing is, the guy, the Demon Lord who came into this video game world came in with the avatar he used in a different kind of video game. So it's kind of like Overlord, but what if instead of waking up in the world based on the MMO that you were in, or similar to the MMO you were in, you woke up in a fantasy world, but you came from a GTA Online style game. And it's like a harem show, and there's like a best girl in it, and he's like a rough guy who's doing his best, but is also like in over his head, and he can summon NPCs that were like his followers from, like, created NPCs from the world that he was in. But also it's like really fucking horny and weird. And there is I don't want to use the anime term for it, or the fandom term for it. But there is a cross-dresser in it, and a lot of the jokes are about either people finding out that that's a boy, or people not wanting to find out that, or being weirded out by it. It's like, it sucks. There's just like a character that sucks in it. He doesn't suck. He doesn't suck. But the way that people respond to that character sucks. If that makes any sense. All right. So this goes like this. This goes in like that. Getting these tank treads to fit in here, seems like it's going to be annoying. So we'll get that there. Anyway, Demon Lord Retry, again, that's a hard series for me to be like, yeah, you should check that shit out. Let's see, what else has been announced? The first episode of they showed the first episode. Crunchyroll showed the first episode of this season of a couple things. They're coming out next season, so that came out, and that was kind of cool. Let's see. Link Click, which I just have not, I could not get into, but it's kind of neat. There's more of that. Natsume's Book of Friends is going to have its 7th season. That rules. That show is really cool, and I'm glad we're going to get more of that. Were there any other anime announcements? Talk about Fire. Oh, there is a teaser for Solo Leveling Season 2. We're going to get Season 2 of Solo Leveling. I was expecting Season 2, so that's not like a huge surprise, because that was very popular in Japan. I don't know if it was super popular here. And also, turns out the one of the most popular webtoons ever getting a good anime adaptation was very well received in South Korea, where the anime was or the webtoon is from. But I think it's a good adaptation, so I'm excited for more of that. Checking more of the news. Mr. Fire Force, Pocket Their Diaries, Blue Lock, Dr. Stone, Science. Yeah, talked to that. All right, I believe that is all of the announcements that came out so far from Anime Expo. There might be more later, but yeah, that seemed neat, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I am happy that some of those announcements came out, and Crunchyroll gets to make some of those cool announcements. Those are fun. And yeah, I will keep you abreast if there's any more updates from Anime Expo. I have not been keeping a close eye on the happenings at Money in the Bank, WWE's Money in the Bank. That is happening right now. I'm going to be watching that show tomorrow in full, and then I will talk about it, on Monday's stream. Because it's happening right now, and it was going to happen during the stream, so I decided the best course of action was to not watch it live. Although I am aware, John Cena came out and announced that he is going to be retiring, and he's going on a retirement tour. They're going to make a bunch of fucking money at a bunch of pay-per-views. His last match will be at WrestleMania. People are speculating, is it going to be Rock versus Cena? Is that going to be the big retirement match? My prediction is CM Punk versus John Cena one more time at WrestleMania, because that's the big WrestleMania. That's a match you can do that doesn't have a belt that can close one of the nights. I mean, Rock, Cena also could be one of those as well. But I feel like The Rock will probably be wrestling Roman Reigns as well. But maybe The Rock won't want to do it because Cena is retiring, and and Cena is going to be the center of attention when he retires. So I don't know. Maybe he won't want to do it. But that is big news. John Cena going for retirement. The funniest outcome would be Baron Corbin retiring John Cena. Does Punk need it? Does The Rock need it? No. Would you want to have someone younger retire him? Probably. But I think that's kind of, for better or worse, the days of, oh, this person's going to go out to put over the next generation is kind of done, because wrestling careers can last so much longer than they used to. And also, I think I prefer I'm done to, oh, I'm done. I'm not done. I'm going to get one more payday over here. I'm going to one more payday over there. I'm not the biggest fan of that. So also, if you really want to make Vegas big, John Cena into the Hall of Fame. I think John Cena going to the Hall of Fame and having his last match at WrestleMania is the no-brainer, but they might want to wait until the next year, because they can then have John Cena come out and have all the money. But you go with his schedule, and you get it done. If he's committed to making that, I think that's cool. Certainly not opposed to that for Mr. Cena, King Nation himself. Hey, so since Thursday's stream, I do not have any closures in the game industry to announce. We often cover those because it's important to talk about these things, but there have not been any instances that have been widely reported, at least, of closures at game studios or game studios shutting down. So I don't have that. But in a somewhat related story, you may know that Adult Swim Games, the publishing arm that Adult Swim started, that is owned by Warner Brothers Discovery, they decided they weren't going to be a publisher anymore, and they were not going to continue to support games that they had publishing deals with in the past, specifically on Steam. Originally, they had announced they were going to sunset stuff. They were just going to like delist things, and they were going to be off the site and all that, and they weren't going to have anything to do with it. And then there was an outcry from developers saying, "I'll transfer it. It doesn't take. It's actually not that difficult to do it if you just want to do it." And it seemed like that was going to be very difficult to get done, if not impossible. And not because it was difficult to do it, but because it was difficult to track down someone that had access and availability and interest to do that. But then it did look like that was happening. There were going to be information transferred. Various games we heard about. Let's see. Just to get a Duck Game and Small Radios, Big Televisions got game rights and store pages reverted to them. So that was something that we were starting to hear that like, oh yeah, if you reach out and you can get in touch with the right person, you can get that shit done. Okay, so this needs to go. This. Sorry. I'm going to use my tweezers here because I got to get this locked up. No. This does not seem to want to go in like it should. Should want to lock in on this one. There it is. That is really annoying. I have to do it again on this side. Yeah, that piece just did not want to go in properly. It's kind of really just line up perfect in there and slot in. We'll just kind of fiddle with it. And I don't want to break anything or bend anything, so I'm using my tweezers here just to line it up right. Yep, there we go. Okay, got that in. That one was a little easier because I did it once. So anyway, it looked like, okay, yeah, anybody that reaches out eventually can get in touch with them and things are going to go good. And then there was an update that came as a bit of a surprise. All right, so this is going to go. And that update said that Adult Swim Games has published sunset statements on a number of indie games Steam pages, noting Adult Swim is no longer able to continue as a publisher for the game and the developer is not available to take over as a publisher at this time. And that was news to a few people that hadn't been able to get in touch with Adult Swim. That were like, oh, word? Because what? Okay, so... Sorry, the instructions are not clear here. I don't think this is right. Yeah, oh, is that right? Okay. This might be correct. That points at this. Here. Okay, so that points down there. But that doesn't seem right. It goes like that. Okay. We'll see. We'll see if I'm doing this correctly. Okay, that does look right. So yeah, basically, this Super House of the Dead Ninjas, Traverser, Mega Coin Squad, were some of the games that on Tuesday, that they said like, hey, yeah, we can't run this page anymore, and we couldn't get in touch with the other people to get the rights to them. But apparently, so Super House of the Dead Ninjas was done under the name Mega Dev, but that studio became Bitmap Bureau. So they were like, hey, well, we're under a different name. And so apparently they're trying to reach out to the right people as soon as they can to get this shit done, because they realize, oh, yeah, shit, we might not be able to get this done. But apparently it might be because they had a different name. I don't know. So that's an update on there that maybe last minute some of those games are going to still be able to go with someone, which would be nice. I don't know. I don't have an update for you, but I'll keep my eyes on it. All right, we're continuing to work on here. This is way more straightforward. It's just a bunch of pieces that are from D. This portion of this is like there's a lot of pieces here that need to go together, but it seems fairly straightforward. D21. And of course, once this is completed, I'll panel line it and make it all look all nice and all that. Let's see. No other gaming news. Not a lot of gaming news since Thursday. That's kind of always my go-to, is to check to see if there are gaming news. For me, I don't have like a lot going on these days as far as exciting things to talk about on stream, unless you want to know that. Oh, here we go. I'll tell you this. I have not had my job replaced by AI yet. Some of you may know that one of the jobs that I do, one of the contract work jobs that I have, is that I do customer service for an unnamed company. Because I am not a full-time employee there or even a part-time employee. I am a contracted employee that works cover shifts. And sometimes when things are really bad, I get a shift of, hey, can you clock in for a couple hours and just work on these types of emails, like these tabbed style of email? Hey, just a little spicy. Yeah, things are going pretty good. So I work for this company doing customer service, mostly in a cover capacity, although sometimes I do. They call me in to do some work of, we are behind. It is usually live chat, and it is if I'm working a shift, I am working live chat as well as responding to emails and following up on emails and then giving reports. Because I'm a contracted employee, I do not have to pay attention to the Slack until like an hour before a shift. And then I just go through and check out the announcements and any updates to anything. But I can kind of just not care about anything. And I am not required to read the Slack when I am not actively working for them, which is kind of them and also smart of them, because I would not do that. Anyway, AI. What does that have to do with AI, Pat? Well, of course, they've been experimenting with AI because they want to save money, and because they are not a public traded company, but they still have people who are high up in the company, or people that gave them money or whatever the fuck, who also want them to use AI to save money, make more money, with less money. So the experiments have basically been bad. As you might have guessed, live chat with a not Chat GPT, but a derivative of it, specializing in customer service, gives wrong information constantly, and not even making up stuff, which certainly happens in a wide variety of people that are affected by that. They deal with Chat GPT stuff, just like making up information because they don't know the difference between what they're reading and making wild assumptions. I'm saying that like the chat does not get updated in real time with proper information, so it is basing information on stuff that is outdated. And every single person, as long as they're checking their emails or like going into the back end, knows the actual real information. So like, here's the thing. The AI chat feature does not understand that Sundays are business days, or not business days. It does not understand what business days are. So it will give people an estimate about when their package is going to come that is wrong. So it just gives the wrong information. And there seems to be no good way to teach it the right information. Because why would that? Why would it have? Because then you're just making the assumption that it could be wrong. You can't come from the point that it might be wrong. You have to come from the point that it clearly knows what it's doing, even though it clearly doesn't know what it's doing. So there's that. That's just a thing that exists. And then on the email side of it, again, incorrect information. So they're basically, they don't do it all the time. But I recently did a shift for them. And by recently, I mean fucking yesterday. I did a no chat, just emails. We are behind on emails. 4th of July stuff. We just got behind. We need someone to come in, or multiple people. I am one of many people coming in. We need you to just respond to emails. Do as many as you can. We're going to do time and a half for 3 hours. Just come in and help us clear out the backlog. And then the weekend people can focus on chat and also emails. But there will be a lot of people. There will be a lot of people in chat on a Friday, the day after holiday, wondering why they didn't get their package that day, because in their minds, Thursday, even though it was a holiday, should count as a business day, even though that's not accurate and that doesn't make any fucking sense. But they still think it should make sense because it makes sense to them. So there's going to be a lot of chat and a lot of people being weird. Like, how come my item hasn't shipped? When did you buy it? Oh, you bought it Thursday night when everyone was not working. Okay, yeah, it's going to take a little while for your order to get processed. They're dealing with that stuff. So I was just dealing with emails. And not every email gets an automated response from their AI that they're using. Again, I should stress, this AI that is sold to companies, is enterprise software sold to companies, saying that this software is geared for, is tailor-made for customer service, and it'll know all your macros, it'll know all your responses, we'll input that information for you. So they're paying someone to do that, supposedly. They're paying someone to add that information in properly. So not every person that emails gets an automated response. I believe right now it is like 1 out of every 5 emails gets an automated response, which means that 1 out of every 5 times you get a response from someone that says, hey, I don't understand what this means. And then you have to go, oh, I'm so sorry. Also, they don't say this response was generated, please, whatever. They don't have that, right? It's just a weird response they got from a person. They think it wasn't a person, but they think it was a person, and it has a random name. And then you, as a human, have to respond to their rightful confusion and say, oh, I'm so sorry. There was a miscommunication. I have said, and I am not supposed to say this, but I have said, I'm so sorry. We have people who work here from all over the world, and sometimes lines of communications get crossed, which is my nice way of saying, hey, maybe the person that responded to this that wasn't me, English isn't their primary language. That's not the case, of course, but that is a excuse that works for a lot of people. And what kind of responses are they getting? You might be asking yourself. Well, so in my line of work, in this particular company, people are ordering things online. Hey, Lord Crashington. So they're ordering things online, and they want to know, where's my package? The number one thing people want to know is, it said 7 days business. I should expect it. There's a window. Where is it? I didn't get an email saying my package shipped. Yes, you will get one when it ships. Okay, yeah, but I didn't get one. Yeah, because your package didn't ship. A lot of it is just simple stuff like that. Or I had trouble checking out. Did my order actually go through? I can't remember my password. We get that. I bought something, but it doesn't come up. And that's somebody that bought something from another website, but thought they bought that from the website that I'm currently working for, but they didn't buy it from them. They bought it from someone else and got confused. So most of the time, it's just stuff like that. Now, also, there are instances where people are like, hey, I got the wrong item. I got the wrong thing, or this thing was damaged, or whatever. Those are there too. But for the most part, most people are just like, where is my package? A lot of people, when they send an email, don't give you any information. They open with, "Hi, I want to know what's going on with my package." And then you have to like put their email address in and reverse engineer, or if you can't find their email address, because maybe the email address they use on their account is different from the email address they use to email people, which is annoying, then you have to go, "Oh, I'm so sorry. You know, like, I'd be happy to help you. I just need to know your account name, or you can give me either your account name, or you can give me the order confirmation number, and I can look that right up for you." And that is the easiest macro. That is what you do. A thing that's happening with this chat is that sometimes this AI, this email response AI, isn't saying, "Great, I would love your information so that I can help you." They just go, "Your package is important to us and is delayed." Literally, the default thing that the AI wants to do is tell people that their package is important and delayed. That's a fucking quote. And then you have to say, "I'm so sorry. This email was sent in by mistake. I'm so sorry that someone responded that to you like that. Can you let me know, like, because you need more information?" Sometimes you do. Sometimes people put in the subject line and in the email, they go, "This is my contact thing. This is the email I use on my account. This is the name of my account. This is the order number," and all that. I've had people that have taken a screenshot of their confirmation email and sent that along as an attachment, or they have sent me the link to the item that they were looking at. Some people go above and beyond, but most people just say, most people who have put the right information just say what the information is. So by default, they just lie, or they might be right, but they don't know if they're right or not. So that was a bit of my Friday, was this 3-hour block. Most of the things where if someone had replied to an email, in this case, the AI, if they had replied to an email, they just were wrong. The emails were wrong. And here's a fun thing. Part of my job is to, I'm going to explain this part, but understand that I don't do it. Part of my job is to report if someone fucked up. Because if I reply to an email, because I don't work there all the time, if I reply to an email and help someone out and close a ticket and do all that, if someone replies and says, "Thanks so much," it reopens the ticket. If I'm the last email and I close it, it's good. We're done and nobody sees it. Or people can see if they want it, but no one really sees it. If someone replies to me, then that reopens the ticket, and someone else has to go and say, "Oh, that's closed ticket," and they'll close it, and they can just they'll just click a button that says, "This person closed the ticket," right? So a thing that I'm supposed to do is, on occasion, if somebody fucked up, if one of my fellow employees fucked up, I'm supposed to make note of that. I'm supposed to be like, they gave the wrong information. They should have, hey, this should have been expedited, all of that. I have been called out on occasion if I made a mistake. Occasionally, sometimes I have made a mistake. I replaced an item that it was a misleading item, but it wasn't our fault. It was the fault of the consumer, and I should have, or the customer, and I should have explained that to them properly instead of making it right, and I'll get called out for that on occasion and all that. But I've been wrong on it before, and then sometimes it's a false flag. Somebody thinks that I fucked up, and I didn't fuck up, and it's very clear that if you go back through all of the messages, I didn't fuck up. And sometimes I have caught people that are like, "This is the wrong response. This person didn't read this. They got confused. The item they got wasn't faulty. It was wrong." Or it was the wrong item and it was also coincidentally faulty. So I've gotten that before and whatever. I don't report people unless they are being belligerent or egregious. But I'm not petty enough to report people for shenanigans. I don't go in for that. I report AI. Every instance of AI being bad, I report. I report every bit of AI bullshit. So much so that I got told, Pat, you don't have to do that. You do not have to report AI. You don't have to report a thing if it is a common occurrence. You can just say, hey, there have been other cases of this. We're aware of the problem. Yesterday, I reported 8 AI messages out of 8 AI messages that were wrong. One of them was right. It said something like, one of the AI messages that went out was like, I need more information. Can you please give me this information? And that was correct, so I didn't report that. But all the ones where they were like, this is misleading information, this is the wrong information, they didn't sign it with a name, they didn't do this or that, I report. I report AI. I don't report AI for being AI. I report AI, the AI responses for being inaccurate and wrong, because I want them to go away. Because not only from a philosophical standpoint do I want them to fucking go away, but also from the fact that I would like more hours at this job doing shit. I would like them to go away. So yeah, I always report it. Yeah, tell the AI to fuck off. But yeah, I'm not the only one. The Slack is full of employees being like, hey, the chat AI says the wrong thing and it just takes longer to do my job. That's where I come from. I say, I am reporting these mistakes instead of replying to people's emails, because you told me to report mistakes if I come across them. And they meant report mistakes that humans are making so that they can so I am doing their job for them. I don't think they wanted me originally when they developed this part of the job. I'm sure they didn't expect it to be report this thing that is bad that we insist on using. Yes, Lord Crashington, it should do that, but it can't. Here's the thing, Lord Crashington. It can't differentiate. It doesn't know what's important. It doesn't know that an email is all you really need, or if I had your account number, that would be great, because it doesn't have access to anything. It can only give options. It's supposed to make life easier because it's supposed to remove the first step, which is ask for more information, verify what it's doing. And it can't do that. But what it can do is make up a human response that it thinks is the proper response, which is to say that there is issues. Because the data it's been fed is customer response emails. It's been trained on responses. And again, I have to stress that the responses update all the time. Our macros change. What we're saying to people changes because it's a business that is on the internet. And so it's not always fucking the same shit. But the AI is trained on information that gets out of date sometimes. It's a fucking nightmare. I have not had to do chat with the chat AI turned on because they don't turn it on all the time because they are running into fucking problems with it. So they do not turn it on that often. So I have not run into that. Also, I pick up any shift I can, and any shift I can get, I pick up. But I just lucked out that I haven't had to do chat with that turned on. I also don't love doing chat because I am slower than people's patience often, because because I'm cross-checking. I don't want to send an email going like, hey, I'm taking a look at this. I want to send an email going, hey, I took a look at this. Here's the information I can give you. Here's an update on this. Here is the window of these things. If you ever an issue, you can reply to this email and someone will get back to you, like whatever. I like getting back to people with enough information, and the chat moves fast in a way that doesn't make that easy. A little, Lord Crashington, it is a little bit like the real life version of Papers, Please, because I'm supposed to, like, as a customer service agent, I am supposed to quickly and succinctly explain, help you to your satisfaction, but also there is someone standing in line behind you. It is rare that we run out of emails. Like, I have never had a shift where I didn't end it going, shit, I sat there for the last 20 minutes of my shift not doing anything because there was nothing for me to do. Because also if it's slow, if it happens to randomly be slow, then you go back to some like tickets that a agent, maybe even yourself, replied to a couple days ago. Gmail has that feature that, like, if you ask a question in an email and you don't get a reply, or you don't reply, someone sends you something and ends in a question and you don't reply, a couple days later, Gmail has a thing where they're like, you didn't reply to this thing. Do you want to do that? There's a tab for that where you're like, hi, you asked a question and we replied. We want to give an update, see if that's okay. Because some people are just like, oh, it comes in 3 days. Okay. And they don't reply and say thank you. So you can kind of close a ticket because you answered. It's why I end every email with, yeah. So it is a thing where I'm like, okay. So yeah, I don't end shifts like, oh, well, I'm out of replies. I just sat here. There's a once in a while, right? Where things just worked out. It was a slow day. It was a slow sales day. There wasn't any issues. There weren't any sales on the site or anything, and things just kind of ran through it. And you can just kind of do it. But yeah, the promise of this AI was to make things more efficient, and theoretically, they could have less people working live chat, and they could have less people replying to emails, thus saving them a bunch of money. I should also say they're not just using a one-and-go client. They're trying to use a software that gets updated and continues to learn. So they're paying a monthly fee for this. So I don't know how much they're paying, but it better be less than the cost of the people that they're trying to use, to replace. I don't think it is. Forget the economics, just focus on the economics. Forget the environmental impact of it. Just the economics of it. My assumption is they're not saving any fucking money, but it's cool, so do it. Ugh. Anyway, I was not expecting that, but this is the thing that I dealt with yesterday. And I did my best with it. Friday, when I get Friday shifts, they're always fun because they are during Jeff Gerstmann's NES streams. So I am like watching Jeff play old NES games that sometimes I know about and sometimes I've never heard of. And that is very fun for me to have that. And then sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, that seems cool. I got to update the next game he's playing. Oh, this Die Hard game seems neat. And then also I'm replying to emails where I'm just like, that's not how business days work. Yes, no one in the United States got mail. Yes, your package that would have been delivered by USPS, they did say that it would be in that window, but July 4th happened and nobody got mail. I am shocked that AI isn't working as well as he probably assumed it would. Yeah, I mean, believing people whose job it is to make you believe them in order to sell you an expensive thing, and then having that not work out is not shocking to me. Business Pat and Mod Pat are colliding. Yes, John, yes. Again, this is not my day job. It is my, contract gig. Contract Pat and Mod Pat occasionally have run-ins. It's rare, but we do occasionally have run-ins. Most of the time, I am watching streams while I'm doing my other major source of income, which is doing a data entry job, which is on a contracted data commission person, and I do updated decks. Don't call them a PowerPoint, call them a deck. Yeah, and I update decks to put new information in them or create decks from scratch to a client's wish, and then they send it out there, and then the client changes what they want on the deck, or they are mad that we did a thing that we did what they told them to do. We did what we were asked to do, but it wasn't exactly the way they envisioned it because they didn't ask for it that way. Why can't we call them slides? Well, so John, slides live in a deck. The deck is the slideshow. You call it a deck. That is just the term that is used. Did you update the deck? Yes, I added the slides to the deck. Yes, I changed the third slide in the deck. Can we update the background image for the deck? Yes, I will switch out this background image and I will go through and make sure that the deck has been updated. That is just the terminology people use. I am not. Sometimes you are building them in PowerPoint. Sometimes you are building them in Google Slides. Sometimes you are building in one of those two and you are saving as a PDF because the people that want to run it as a PDF because they don't have anything fancy going on in there. But they want to be able to run it on any device in a building. And so you're exporting to PDF. You are exporting to PowerPoint. You are saving as a you are saving, uploading it to and emailing and sharing to a Google account. You're putting it in a Dropbox. You're WeTransferring a file. All that shit. John, I understand. You don't want to shuffle a slideshow. You just call them a deck because that's what it is. It is not decked like a deck of cards. It is on deck. What's on deck? That is what's next. It is referring to that. That is the kind of deck that you are building. You're building the thing that we are going to the next slideshow. I do a lot of that. Sometimes I am just updating spreadsheets that people will build decks out of. I'm not even building the deck or updating the deck. I am updating the spreadsheets that will help update the deck in the future. And those are fun because my eyes hurt a lot when I do it. Because I was lying and it's not fun. It's quite not fun. But yeah, it's work. Work is work. Somebody came up with the term 20 years ago and nobody came up with a better name. I mean, honestly, it's just that they didn't want to call them PowerPoints because they didn't want to be beholden to that. Also because you can run a PowerPoint in the Mac software, but that's not. Mac had their own thing, and people would build them on there because a lot of businesses had Macs in entertainment fields. Keynote, yes, the Keynote, right? But you can and sometimes I get asked to export a thing so it will run on a Keynote, and I just send a PowerPoint because I don't have a Mac. But yes, Keynote is another one. We gotta take a pause for the calls. Anyway, that's the job that I do that doesn't make me furious. Occasionally I get annoyed when I have to update something that I shouldn't have to update because I did it the way I was asked to, but it just wasn't the way they wanted. But that doesn't happen too often, and often one of my direct contact will do those quick and easy edits sometimes. Where they're like, actually, could we have this background image instead? And they'll just do it, and I don't even hear about it. And then occasionally, like a year later, I'll do an update and I'll go, oh, they made a change in between me working on this. Because if you did a project once and you're still with the company, you get that project again. which is nice. It's more work. Anyway, now is the part of the stream where I want to talk to you, that's right, you the viewer, about ways you can support this whole damn thing. If you are currently a subscriber to the Build a Bear Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 Blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here with your cash money or your Prime Gaming token. We had Harold and Ghost Valve both renew their subs today, which is very nice. If you would like to become a subscriber, you're more than welcome to do that. If you want to gift a sub, we have had 0 gifted subs in the month of July. But you want to become the first to gift a sub, you could do that. If you want to join the cheerleader board and cheer a little bit and get some bits, you could do that as well. Those are ways to support what I do around here. Like Mjon, who just gifted a sub to Puppet Jared. I love that. That's your 40th gifted sub. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site Tier 2 Blue emote in chat and thank Mjon for the gifted sub. Appreciate that very much. Thank you so much, Mjon. Very kind of you. Mjon is now at the top of the gift sub leaderboard, and Puppet Jared is my friend Jake, who occasionally raids as his VTuber Jared. The only VTuber that started out as a puppet on Dorkly. Because it's very specific. I know that for a fact. There may have been other VTubers that started out as a puppet and then became a VTuber, but that's the only one from Dorkly and College Humor. You know, claim to fame. But yeah, being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here because you're already here on Twitch in the system and you probably sub to somebody else. I believe sub prices are going up this month. So if you want to become a subscriber, now is a great time to do that. There are other ways to support what I do here, and I will go through them pretty quickly. I have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. And there's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. I will say that unfortunately, for the first time in years, I've dropped below $100. So if you would like to become a patron at the $1, $3, $5, or $10 tier, you can. A poll went up for my $3, $5, and $10 patrons today about what I should do on Tuesday. I meant to send that out yesterday and didn't. Harold just joined with cheer with some bits. Cheer 23 bits. Appreciate you, Harold. Thank you so much for the bits. Ching. And now Harold is at the top of the cheer board, which is cool. Yes, you can just do the old cheer whale, which I appreciate. But yeah, my Patreon dropped below $100, which is okay. But if you want to jump in on there and support me outside of the Twitch ecosystem, you can do that. Also, I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. Over on my YouTube channel, if you wanted to, you could subscribe, which of course you do for free. Also, on my YouTube channel, they have a membership program. For just $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So you get a little bit ahead. If you really want to know before other people know what some of my favorite shows from the spring 2024 anime season were, well, I'm going to be sharing that once a week. So you can find that out next Tuesday before other people find out on Wednesday. There's also direct donations if you don't want to do monthly, because those are all monthly ways to support me. But if you want to, on occasion, help me out, you can, go for a tip jar from my Ko-Fi or directly to my PayPal. And everything I make through direct donations, through YouTube, which includes AdSense, and watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And from that fund, from that very fund, I buy model kits. I got a bunch of model kits. I complained today about a kit that came in the mail poorly from Amazon. That came out of money collected. So Past You is helping present me out. Sometime this month, I'm getting shipped a premium Bandai kit that I pre-ordered like in January, I think. So that's coming. And that was from your generosity back at the beginning of the year. I have a bunch of stuff I'm happy to build. Now, I should say, the kit I'm currently working on now, the G-Armour, the G-Fighter that I'm building right here, and the RX-78-2, that kit came from my Amazon wish list. My friend John bought it, which is very kind of him. If you would like to buy something and bypass my backlog and say, no, you buy that now, you build this now, Pat, you could buy something from my Amazon wishlist. I'll make a dedicated YouTube video about the thing that you purchased. And it'll jump the queue. Like I said, I've got Lego sets and model kits. Inexpensive kits like this some really fun, weird little things that aren't that expensive, like a 30-minute missions kit for $16. It'll take me more than 30 minutes on stream, but I'll put that together and that'll be fun. Some Lego sets, some model kits that are inexpensive, some kits that are very expensive, some stuff that's on sale, stuff that it doesn't seem like it's ever going to go on sale. I have a bunch of stuff like there, Pokemon and Digimon stuff, all kinds of things. See if there's something there you'd like to see me build. There's some gear at the bottom because it's always nice to have gear. Like, if you're just like, Pat, I'm going to buy you another hard drive because your some of your storage is filling up. And so here's a 1 terabyte SSD that will help you out. That will be rad. You could do that if you wanted to. You don't have to do that, but you could. I have alternatives to Amazon because it's nice to have alternatives like Throne. Throne is a wish list that is different from Amazon. You go over there, see if there's something you'd like to see me put together there, or some gear or gift cards on Throne. And then also, if you want to do the weirdest thing, go to USA Gundam store, buy a gift card there. They will send you an email with that gift card code. Then you send me a message on Twitter, or this is DMs I'm talking about here, like a DM on Twitter or Blue Sky or Mastodon with that gift card code. And then you can send that to me, and then I will use that gift card code and I will buy something from USA Gundam store. Sorry, I just went to check to see if anybody sent anything for me. It turns out I got, I won a Google draw. Some kind of Google lottery happened. No, it didn't. That's just a lie. I got spam in there. But yeah, if you want to send me a message, you can send me a message. Those are all the ways to support me that cost money. But also, you could help me out if you want to join my Discord. Jump in on the old Discord if you'd like. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. The Discord is full of lovely people, and we would really enjoy having you there. Let's see. While I got you here, before we get back to building, Pat Baer's Anime Club. I said I have a new episode coming out on Monday. If you missed the most recent episode that's been up there for about 2 weeks now, you can see what I thought of the spring anime season and what I thought of the summer anime season, which is starting right now. The review / preview. And then Kuma Baer is up, and you can check out Kuma Baer, which is my weekly anime recommendation series where I recommend something from the world of anime every week in under a minute that I put as a YouTube short, because YouTube shorts bring in more revenue than any other video I have ever created, other than one, for whatever reason, like one of the first videos I did in improvised postmortem blew the fuck up, and like 8,000 people watched it, and that's the most I've ever made. But Kuma Baer is right up there. The shorts are doing good. This week, I talked about Windbreaker, one of my favorite shows from the spring anime season. So you can watch that video right there. And then I got another one coming up next week. All through July, I'll be talking about my favorite shows from the spring season. Some of you could probably guess what they are, based on me talking about them on a weekly basis. Speaking of which, I do have some anime to talk about. I got a show that I am not sure if I am going to be, I kind of just give you an overview of the first episode. I don't know if I'm going to be watching on a weekly basis, and one show that I think I'll be watching on a weekly basis because I really liked it. Then we'll talk about some video game stuff as well, and we'll get into all that. But to do that, I need to go to the overhead camera, and I also desperately need to drink some water. So let's dramatically transition the overhead camera, and then we'll keep building this model kit and talk about some anime right now. I really like turning my head and having the glass disappear. That makes me happy. That is a small, stupid thing that I appreciate. Anyway, anime. It's happening. Dungeon People is on High Dive. High Dive is, I will say this season, Dungeon People seems pretty cool. I think I'm going to keep watching it. So that makes having High Dive feel important or feel necessary. Also, Oshinoko Season 2 is happening. And that's Oshinoko Season 1 was one of my favorite shows of the year it came out. So more Oshinoko. I'm like, yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to keep High Dive for these two shows. All right, so I need C16 and C17. So let's do that. But let's talk a little bit about Dungeon People. Clay is our main character. We see her being lectured by her father about dungeons. She's learning all about dungeon stuff from her dad. And there are monsters in there, and you got to be careful and all that. Then apparently some time passes, and hey, Clay is fighting in a dungeon. What? She was warned all about dungeons from her dad, and now she's in a dungeon. But she beats the monster, and she gets a gem. And then we see like kind of a little mini like flashback ish. She has been working at least somewhat with the Thieves Guild, enough that she has gotten some advice from them. Apparently, in this dungeon, which is in Ontomurg, adventurers have only reached the 7th floor of the dungeon, so they have not gotten super far in it. All right, let me find A here. I need PCA. Goes into that one. And PCA goes into that one, which is also over here. Do that. And then I need PCD. When I say PC, I mean polycap. That is what polycaps are called on here. That's it. D is here. Okay. Polycaps. Poland polycaps. All right. Let's see. Apparently, this monster that she just defeated was the boss of the 8th floor. So Clay has now gone as far as she has now done better than anyone else ever has in this particular dungeon. But she still doesn't feel like she's ever going to live up to her father, who was like a really great adventurer and a dungeon crawler. Before he vanished. Clay's dad disappeared. So that's not great. Was he killed? We don't know. We don't know what's going on. We just know that he disappeared. Which is, obviously a fucking bummer. She hears some monsters coming, so she hides. Because starting on the 6th floor, monsters don't work alone. They work together in groups. She throws the gem to distract them, and then she attacks one of the weakest members from judging it. And then she gets the rest of them, and they become more gems for her to collect. A lot of this is like, we're just watching this unfold. We're getting a lot of backstory and knowledge here from this character. Do I think the whole series is going to be this? No, I think this is just like set dressing of like, here's some information about this. Here is this character presenting this information. We're learning about the world. I don't think it's going to be like the diary of a girl in a dungeon all of the fucking time. Maybe some of the time, but not all the time. All right, now I got to get this polycap wedged in properly here. So let's see if this will work. Nope, that doesn't fit in. All right, there. I got the polycap in that I needed. And then I need K. Let's see. Apparently, a lot of adventurers just focus on killing monsters and not looking for chests, because monsters are, even though they're more difficult, they're a guarantee of results. Whereas chests you might never find a proper chest doing all that. So this is going to go in like that. All right. Put this on backwards. This is the back of the thing. And then I need G5. We have used a lot of G so far on this build. She opens the door and she fights a Minotaur Guardian. She fights it and the walls collapse behind them. And they are both freaked out. That a wall broke. That's not a thing that happens in dungeons. Dungeon walls don't really break. They should be strong enough to support any kind of battles. So there's kind of like a momentary truce because both of them are just like, that's weird, because they can communicate. And the Minotaur is just like, hey, check that out. And there's a room. There's just like a weird room in the dungeon. And then there's a girl there. Suddenly there's just a girl there, and she's also surprised. She's just like, what's happening right now? And so she's just like, what's happening right now? And also, hey, wait, are you talking to this? Like, basically she's just like, hey, what's going on here? And are you talking like a person to this girl, this adventurer? Like, what is going on here? And he's just like, he suddenly starts talking like a bull instead of like a person. He gets sent away because now she kind of understands and explains what happens. And so this mystery girl, oops, shit, this did not connect properly. This mystery girl then confronts Clay and is like, hey, I'll explain what's going on here. Can you come with me? And she's like, it'll be fine. We're just going to the resident quarters. So they go and sit somewhere, and she, I had to pause to write down this name. I'm going to call her Langdis from now on. Langdis is what her name is, but she has a first name, which was a lot. Belia Helia Langdis. I paused so that I could write it down, and then I went to the wiki page to make sure that I had spelt it correctly. Langdis is what we're going to call this girl from now on. She is the dungeon manager. That is a thing that exists. And she's like, I know who you are. I've seen you before. I know who, like, based on, you know, where you've been and all that. I am familiar with you. And then she's just like, hey, you want a job? The dungeon Karen, yes, the dungeon Karens. But she's just like, do you want a job? I would ask another adventurer, but you're the only adventurer I know who can make it this far. Like, you are the best adventurer that I have seen. So I would like to hire you if you are interested in working for the dungeon. And Clay is like, well, hey, wait, if you're in charge of the dungeon, does that make you the dungeon boss? Are you the final boss of the dungeon? And he's like, great question. Yeah. So then Clay is like, well, can I fight you? Can I challenge you to a fight? And if I win, you just let me go. And if I lose, I'll work for you. And that's basically, instead of just agreeing to the job, they put a wager in. And who knows if Langus is ever, or not Langus, if Clay is ever going to get a chance to fight a final boss of a dungeon. So he's like, sure. And Langus is like, yeah, all right. I mean, I'm not gonna hold back, but sure, that seems fair or sporting. Clay starts thinking about her dad and wonders, like, did he make it to the 10th floor of this dungeon? did he lose to Langus? Is that like, she really starts thinking about a bunch of things that maybe she shouldn't be focusing on because she's about to fight a dungeon boss, but she has a lot of thoughts. And she wants to ask Langus about her dad, but she might not want to know. She might not actually want to know the answer. I will say that Clay is pretty thoughtful. Langus teleports them to the dungeon's final room, and Langus summons her staff and says, I'm not going to wear any armor. They fight. Clay is just trying to get an early advantage using the information that she's learned from her dad and from her experience as a fighter. All right, I'm going to pause talking for a second here so I can get this right. I don't want to fix. This is the backpack, so this is where the beam sabers are going to sit, and I don't want to have to take this backpack apart because I did this step wrong. You know what I mean? These are small pieces, and so I'm going to make sure I do these small pieces correctly, and I believe I did. Hooray. All right, great. And I can put the backpack piece on here. Yeah, because I put the poly cap in there that needed to be in there. Great, I did that right. All right, great. Whoop, what happened here? We just got to follow. Welcome, Void Sounds. Thank you. So they fight, and Langus just uses a spell and completely knocks out Clay. It is a very one-sided battle. It was not even close. It was just like, Clay's looking cool, Clay loses. She wakes up. They fix the wall from the 11th floor. Langus is like, well, now you work for me. And Clay is like, does that make me a dungeon boss? And it's like, no, you're going to be working on operations. You won't be a boss. And not all dungeons operate the same. You're going to be like, basically, she's just going to be a grunt in the dungeon to help it run smoothly. There's like a list of some stuff. But she won't have to fight people, it sounds like. And she's like, well, isn't that going to mess up my position in the guild? And she's like, oh, don't worry about that. I'll talk to someone in the guild and let them know you're working for me. And they get a contract, and apparently it pays well. Because Langus is pleasantly surprised with what she's being offered to work in this dungeon. And that's the end of the episode, basically. Clay went from exploring a dungeon and being pretty good at it to being pretty fucking surprised that she is now an employee of a dungeon. And that's the first episode. Really intriguing. The art looks really nice. This is a well-done anime. It's not... For people that are like missing something from Delicious in Dungeon, I wouldn't say this is a replacement for Delicious in Dungeon. Dungeon Meshi, this is not the same vibes. This is like a little bit of like the show, the house hunting show about the dragon. It's a little bit more closer to that. It's a little bit like there was action and some sadness in Handyman Saito, but the Handyman in Another World, kind of that vibes a little bit. Just like, it's not an isekai, but it's like, it's a little chiller than other action series. And it's fun. I don't know. It's like, we did have some fighting, and there will be more. I just assume we're going to have some more characters and probably some more adventures, and maybe Clay having to fight adventurers because she works for the dungeon now. Like, maybe she'll have to step in and help out. I'm not sure, but I liked it. I thought it was a fun episode. I'm sure we're going to get more philosophy, but now that there are characters for our main character to interact with, I don't think there'll be as many monologues, which I'm not opposed to, but I know some people fucking hate. Also, The opening makes me think there's going to be a lot of fun monsters, and that's cool. Um, and then hopefully she finds evidence about what happened to her dad. So a show that I wanted to talk about that I'm not sure if I'm going to covering on a weekly basis, and I don't really have like a full detail on here because I'm still not sure. If I decide I'm going to cover this on a weekly basis, then I will probably do a more like, hey, here's a more detailed explanation of what happened in episode 1. But here's an overview of um, my dear friend Nokotan. And dear is Deer. My dear friend Nokotan. My friend who is a deer, not my dear friend. It's a fucking play on words. Torako Koshi, who I can tell you that she is a girl that used to be a troublemaker, but nobody knows that in her new school. She runs into a strange girl with deer antlers hanging from some power lines. She's got deer antlers coming out her head, and she's hanging by those on some power lines, and it's fucking weird. And it is a interesting introduction to a character. The girl basically guilts her way into getting some help, and then she shows up as a transfer student later. So Koshi is just like, or Toroka Koshi is just like, what? And she introduces herself as Noko Shikanoko. Noko Shikanoko is her name. And she's a seat next to Toriko, claiming that she's a bully. Claiming that she's delinquent. That's Toriko is delinquent, not Koshi. Yeah, Toriko Koshi. She was a delinquent. She's not. She's trying to hide it. And so she's threatening Noko, and that conversation sounds like Toriko's trying to hide that she's trying to hide that she was a delinquent, but people are misunderstanding that she is talking about trying to hide that she is a virgin, and it's fairly funny, but not super funny. But it's a whole little misunderstanding shenanigans. Then Toriko tries to go home, and she finds Noko bleeding from her head in a storage shed. But she quickly is fine, and then they clean up the shed because I guess that was their job. A teacher shows up, and Toriko gets roped into becoming the president of the Deer Club in that shed. That shed is the new base of the Deer Club. And then we see another girl in the distance, very angry. Who is she angry at? Is it... We don't know. This shit is fucking weird, man. This is a weird goddamn anime. This is another weird thing from Oshi Oshi. I wrote this down here in my notes that Oshi Oshi, the creator of this manga, also made Sakura Mai Mai, which is another pretty weird manga. That's fun. But this is just like another weird thing. I'm looking forward to seeing tomorrow's last part. Yeah. My dear friend Nokotan is fucking strange. And the real thing, I'm going to say this. The real thing is, I don't think I'm going to cover it week to week, because in the same way that I've never covered Pop Team Epic, an anime I really love, because like I could just list the references. Like it was hard enough when I was trying to convince people to watch Dino Rumi, or My Roommate is a Dino. When I was trying to get people to watch that, it was hard enough because that shit is weird as hell. But at least it was sometimes slightly approachable weird as hell. This shit is might just be too weird. So I might just watch it and tell people they should watch it and then not, like not get into it too bad, and not like be too worried about it. Hold on one quick second. I should also say that this is not officially out yet. That it is. I forget what. Let's see. Wait. Yeah. When does Nokotan come out for everybody? I did watch this on a. I do not get these that often. Do not get confused. I do not get these consistently, but every once in a while I will get a screener. This was a code to watch it. I had basically over the weekend I could watch that because it did come out early, I believe on Amazon Prime in Japan. It came out early. So I did end up watching this. I don't even think it's out for everybody yet. Dear friend Noko. Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's just delayed. Yes, okay. So it's coming out on the 7th. And I watched I ended up watching the first episode because I did get a because it came out early on Amazon Prime Japan, and I was able to get a screener of it. So I believe everybody else will be able to watch that tomorrow. Yeah, in a few hours. Okay. Yeah. So again, I don't know if I'm going to cover this on a weekly basis, but I have now seen the first episode. It airs tomorrow. Yeah. So I did get to see the first episode. Again, I don't know if I'm going to cover this. It is very cool. Oh, sorry. It was on Amoeba. That's right. It was on Amoeba. They get it early. Or at least they got the first episode early this week. But I did receive a streamer to watch it. I do not expect to get that every single time. I got it for 3 shows. I'll say that. I got first episodes of 3 shows, and I have talked about 2 of those because I did see Oshinoko the day before, but it didn't matter that I saw Oshinoko episode of season 2, episode 1 a day early because, again, yeah, that didn't really matter because by the time I could talk about it, we'd already had a hangout, so we're okay. Even though I saw it a day early, it didn't really matter because we hadn't had the stream yet. So I hope that made sense. I don't know. But anyway, I like I said, one of the early episodes I got, I'm not even gonna cover because it's not a show I particularly care about. And they know that when they send stuff out that I don't want everything. Not everybody's gonna cover everything. And yeah, I'm not expecting this. This is like a friend doing me a favor, getting me a few things when I was interested in, because I was trying to, I'll tell you this, I was trying to get through the press and through reviewers and streamers and all that kind of program, I was trying to get some free high dive. And this was in conversation. Oh, well, like, hey, while we're talking about these things, I can send you this, this, and this, which is very kind. But yeah, I was trying to get some free streaming because I do cover shows, especially this season. I'll be covering stuff from them, but that did not work out, and that's okay, as far as I know. But it did mean that I got a few streamers of a few shows, and that's fucking cool. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you. What are you into right now? What are you watching? What are you playing? What's got you real going? What's got you excited? I always love to hear from people about what they're up to and into. I will tell you while I'm waiting for you to let me know about any games or alike that you're you're jumping into. I will tell you that I played some D&D. I played some Hearthstone. I played some Helldivers. I've not played Helldivers in a hot minute. I was very happy to get more Helldivers in. Helldivers 2, of course. And then I've been watching some Summer Games Done Quick. So I've got some Summer Games Done Quick recommendations. I'll have more on Tuesday because I'm still behind on stuff. Let's just start with it. I'm not going in like order of like what I watched it in, either live or after the fact. We're going to start with the dog. Let's start with the dog one. You may have heard about the dog. If you haven't, this is your homework to watch. Ken Griffey Jr. presents MLB Speed Ran by Peanut Butter, the dog, and JSR, the owner of the dog, in 29 minutes and 38 seconds. This has been Peanut Butter has been showcased before in the speedrunning community, but this time I'm happy if we can train the puppy to not painfully bite our fingers and toes. Yes. Yes. I mean, go for everybody's got their own things, right? John? Peanut Butter performing in front of a crowd, which was a nice little thing. That is a top tier doggo and a very good boy. I love that. I watched a little of this live and later on YouTube. A lot of the comments for this are that they wish that there wasn't so much image of the game, that they wish the overlay was more on the dog and less on the game and the couch and all that. Like, not enough dog. The dog was not the right percentage. And I really found that to be cute. That was like overwhelmingly the response was just like, I need to see more of that dog. Too small in the overlay. I thought that was very cute. That is a fun run. I would recommend it. Take a look at that. Birds Aren't Real, the game by Allison 8-Bit in 7 minutes and 14 seconds. This is a very short game, very easy speed run. It is a game I have never heard of. The couch was very silly. They were talking about conspiracy theories, and it was one of those things where you're like, I don't understand what's going on here. And then the game was happening, and I was like, okay, I kind of understand what's happening here. I still don't fully understand what's happening here because everyone involved in this speed run is in on the joke, and I don't know the joke. And they're like, oh, I'm starting to get the joke. Okay. It was still enjoyable. It was still a fun stream, or a fun speed run. Birds Aren't Real, the game. I do like a short one. I usually make a playlist of short GDQ runs, and I like to watch those while I'm doing stuff. Okay, so this one, you've watched a Castlevania Symphony of the Night speed run probably. That's a classic speed run in the community. This was Symphony of the Night by Dragon Blitz in 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 30 seconds. This is a favorite of mine to watch. This run, this category is bonkers. The runner was very good. There were a lot of glitches. This category was reverse boss order. And it was just like, it is, they said this a couple times in the run, and they had some saves and all this other stuff. That is, it's the kind of run that you reset all the time because things can go very wrong in that kind of run. And it showed. That seemed to be, in my opinion, a very fucking difficult category for a game that I really like. So that was very fun. And the last one that I'll mention here is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, 2, 3, and 4 by Partyman X in 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 19 seconds. That's right. It only took Partyman X 13 more minutes to do 4 Tony Hawk games over one Castlevania run. It was, some of them were 100%, some of them were like any percent, some of them were like all goals and gold. Watching someone be very good at Tony Hawk and very precise at Tony Hawk is fun. That was a good run. I appreciated that. That was an enjoyable run to watch. Also, it must be said, it must be noted that Party Man X is a very good name for a speedrunner. Good job to Party Man X for coming up with the name Party Man X. Especially if you are a Tony Hawk speedrunner named Party Man X, that's pretty good. That was just fun. It was just like, I don't think about Tony Hawk, all the Tony Hawk games all that often. I think about the first one, and I think of a lot of like Underground. But I don't necessarily think about like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 too often. And I should. I should think about 3 more. I don't like to do stickers this late in the stream. I am doing stickers this late in the stream. I am doing all of the stickers for this kit. Every single sticker for this RX-78-2 is head stickers. So we've done the front and back cameras. Now we're going to do the 2 eye stickers. These are separate. They're not one with a bend. 2001 for you. We'll give me the 2 eye stickers here, and I will attempt to apply them properly. Again, I don't usually like to do them at the end of stream, but it is what it is. Ghost Valve said, finally started on Elden Ring DLC. It's tough. Hell yeah, it is. That's what I've heard. I've heard that it is very difficult. Finished Mob Psycho. I read the manga, but really liked the adaptation. Yeah. As someone that has read and watched it, I thought that the adaptation was really great. It's fun to watch Mob grow the fuck up. Mob becomes our little man. Our little man grew up. So nice. Mob Psycho rules, and I feel like not enough people watched the 3rd season and talked about the 3rd season enough because it was real good. SGDQ has been my filler. Dog Run was fun. It was fun. And John says we need 8 angles on that dog. We do. But yeah, if anybody else has been doing anything, playing anything, let me know. I mean, Twist added in Hearthstone, the Twist mode added some more heroes, and I have been very happy to play that with some new shenanigans in there. There's a paladin that's really fun. And I'm prepping a little bit. I've been converting some cards into dust and hoarding my gold because that way I can basically, some new decks will come out next season, and there will be some legendaries you need in there that I will not have gotten out of packs. So I will need to craft those legendaries. So you need dust. And also I'm going to be opening so many goddamn packs that I will have a lot of dust from duplicates. So it won't be too hard to do that. But I did go in and just get rid of some extras, or like get rid of some gold of cards that I never play. Because I'm like, I'm okay. I'm not having that card anymore. I don't need that card because I never play it. So I don't need a gold version of that card and a regular version of it. So get rid of the gold. Lorecraft says, I've been playing more Mars First Logistics, where now I have to find towers since it dumped a bunch of jobs on me after the first handful were completed. Yes. I like to put a rocket on a small vehicle, and then just when I was first playing that, I would just go off and find a bunch of towers and just expand the map for myself. And I would just do that a little bit. Now you can also craft a radio so you can always hear music and just tool around. And I would say that might be a fun little way to go and get your items here. The sticker, one of the eye stickers. Okay, I got it out. One of the eye stickers on here got caught when I was putting the head together because I didn't let it set enough, but I managed to drag it down so I don't have to take the head apart to get that sticker, which is great. I'm going to panel line this before I put the V-fin on because it'll be easier. Lashbrook says, I've been playing Rebuild My Mister install. Ooh, fun, because there are now drivers to make the Sidon light gun work with it. Oh, yes, the light gun. But the only real install method currently is from a fresh install. That's a shame. But if it means that you can then use the light gun for some of your games, that's pretty cool. That could be pretty neat. Good luck to you, Lashbrook. We are going to finish up here with the head. I'm going to panel line this right now, and then we'll be done. We made some progress. We got some of the G-Fighter done. We got some of the RX-78-2 done. This kit does fit together weirdly. It is built in a strange order, which I'm not opposed to. I'm just calling out that it is built in strange order. Monday stream, we will continue to work on this kit. In its weirdness, we will talk about Money in the Bank because I'll have watched it and not just heard the results. I'll actually watch the results. Talk about some other stuff probably. In the world of wrestling, I'm sure there will be some gaming things to chat about on Monday because I'm personally going to play some stuff tomorrow. I got some Helldivers 2 time coming up tomorrow. Maybe I'll regale you with some Helldivers 2 nonsense if anything big's happen. Mostly it's just like, my crew is pretty good. I'm not that great. We have fun. Occasionally in our Discord voice chat, some people get silly and in character, and sometimes we talk about what's going on in our lives and what's up and all that other stuff. One of my friends has a kid that really likes watching his dad play Helldivers. So we have to be aware of that if there is a kid in the room. And often when he logs in, everyone shuts up and stops talking for a little bit until we find out if there is a kid in the room with him. Because, I should clarify. He has a headset and he has a microphone, but he also has in his soundbar, he has a couple headsets, and he puts a headset on his kid, so his kid will hear what we are saying as well. The kid doesn't talk into it, but the kid can hear us. So we always have to, when we all shut up when he comes out. I'll get that later. The little red part here on the V that covers the V-fin just flew off when I put the head on, so I have to get that on my own, but I'm going to do that on my own time. And that's going to do it for tonight's stream. I want to thank everybody for joining me here tonight. I hope you had a good time. I had a very good time on the old stream shenanigans. We are going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go find someone doing cool shit out there and go spend a little bit of time with them because the party don't stop until we go hang out with other people. Me stopping streaming doesn't mean that the good times end. Who are we going to go hang out with? Hey, Pizza Suplex is playing Elden Ring with not Jeff Gerstmann's Goo Crew. They're playing with Super Jazz and Cool Like and a bunch of people. It is a group. It is a... Oh, actually, never mind. They're ending. Never mind. They're going to go raid somebody, and I don't know who they are. Never mind. We are not raiding Pizza Suplex because Pat is literally ending his stream. We always end with a raid, but we can't end with that raid. Oh, my God. We almost raided right before they raided. That would have been bad. So, instead, we're going to go with... I don't know who we're gonna rate. Okay. This has been recommended to me. We're gonna go look at a camera feed of otters. The Vancouver Aquarium Marine Mammal Rescue Society is doing a fundraiser. For the Marine Mammal Rescue. And we're going to go look at some otters because that seems like a cool thing. We're going to go where Pizza Suplex, where Pat raided, and we're going to go raid that too. Because that seems like a wild thing to do. Let's go look at some fucking otters, and if you feel like donating, help them out. Thank you all so much for being here. Hope you come back on Monday as I continue working on this model kit, which is a strange little build. And hang out. Thanks so much for being here. Hope you had a good time. I'll see you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.